Today I'm going to attempt something which from a photograph, create a painting from this amazing photograph which we took a couple of years ago near where I live, and it's this stormy cloud, fluffy cloud, but it's quite challenging because of trying to get the perspective of the clouds and the dark blue and the greys. But of course the main one of the features that sets it off is this yellow, this oilseed rape. This was amazing yellow. I recall seeing this, and you can see this clump of trees in the distance just on the horizon there, and a little church somewhere there, I think. It's a village near where I live. But it was quite a remarkable day actually, so I really should have blown it up into a bigger picture. But let's see how I can create this in oil. I'm going to do it on, this is a 10 by 12 paint canvas. I've stained it with a sort of neutral umber, just to take out the white. So I've got my medium is Oless Mineral Spirit, but in my little cups here I've got some poppy seed oil and some what's this? I can't recall now. It's the Winsor & Newton medium for helping you get the paint off of your brush. Liquin, that's it. I suddenly couldn't remember it. Liquin. So let's crack on. The question is now, do I put in the whites or the darker colours for my cloud? Undecided. I think you can do it either way actually. The usual view is you put the darks in first and then work to your lighter things. Certainly in oil, it's the other way around with watercolour, or the conventional wisdom is. But I've got cadmium yellow there, cadmium orange, a little bit of burnt umber there, titanium white, cadmium red, sap green, crimson alizarin, ultramarine, blue there, and a bit of violet there. I thought that might be good to help me with the these sort of purpley tones in the clouds. So let's get a mixture going now, some whites, so we can sort of map out. I've got this tear off palette here, not so good when you got just the white, but let's refer again to my reference. If I put my photo nearby, I won't be able to copy exactly what the photo shows, but I'm going to use it as a reference, as a sort of rough guide. Can map out the lightest lights, really. Comes down here. I think my challenge will be to get the edges right. That's a big feature, whether you've got hard or soft edges. Just going to map it in like this. I can add some different tones to these as well. And we've got, oh, I ought to try and, let's try and get our horizon in. Let's map that in. Just, this painting is largely about the sky, so we need plenty of it. Should I bring it a bit lower? Pops down there. Yes, I think we'll go with that and try to link this cloud forms. So it's pretty thick, I'm doing it at the moment, but I want it to make sure I've got some regression in it, so you can see the clouds are smaller in the distance, the cloud forms, and this also helps with our perspective as well. So I'm going to come on the underside of these clouds with the darker shapes, of course. Let me see. Little cloud forms we shall see smaller in the distance like this. Right. Sort of fairly light off to the horizon as well. So we've got to have a light form really, and then we're going to put in those clumps of trees which we can see in the reference. Sort of slightly paler area in some of them areas here, and then of course we've got to cut in with our blue. So now I think I'm going to put in some of these darks right away, so let's see what we can get. There's certainly some blues here, but not so blue as that. So I put in a little bit of umber. You can see it greys it out a bit. And this has got to be a little very much darker in here. So, but let's just go with that. Let's put some darks in that umber, really bluey grey. Give it a good mix up there. A bit more umber. I think I'll have to just get some liquid going. I'm using number 8 flat brush here. Just map in these masses. I must try and see them as masses rather than clouds. So they're all very individual. And much darker here. Let's put some more liquid and a bigger bit of umber in there. Make it a lot darker, I think we want. So I'm going to try and get 3 sort of tonal values: the dark, light and intermediate tonal values, if I can. Right, let's dark here. We'll deal with the edges down the road a bit. It's important I get those. Try and leave some of these whiter edges. Standing back a bit. I want darks under here. It's a really stormy, or I should say there's obviously a storm brewing up. I think that's what I was looking at, really. And here I've got to get a different blue in there, a sort of more brighter ultramarine. So it looks a bit of a muddle at the moment, but I want to try and make it look real. Get some whites. But there's sort of almost a diagonal shape to the form, really. Again, try and make some softer edges on these. I stand back a bit now. As I said, I want the intermediate or mid-tones as well, where I can, so got to constantly vary, try and get these softer edges too, sort of grayer, bluey greys there. Cut a little bit into that white, a little darker tones in places, but let's get right in and snap some nice blues in some of these areas. So again, I've got my ultramarine there. Got a little bit of white still on my brush, but that's all right. There was a nice mat of colour in here. Cut in. Let's be bold with the colour. Shouldn't be mean with your colours. I'm using Winsor & Newton water mixable oils, which I quite like. I think they've chemically altered the formula somewhat, so you can, makes it easier to clean your brushes. Let's lighten that up a little bit. We don't want little bits of my tone canvas poking through at the moment. So sort of golden-y colour. Not really an issue, I don't think. Soften these edges here. Some slightly less vivid blue and cut in places. And yes, that blue, I want it to take our eye into the horizon, down like this. Cut in a little bit some of these areas. So it's much paler as you go into the distance, of course. You must remember that. Aerial perspective, colour goes down to the grayer or less saturated. We'll come back, I think, with some more white in here. I'm squinting my eye now, trying to see if it's reading. I want to keep those small cloud forms on our horizon. Of course, I've got to put in my bank of trees on my horizon there. A little bit too bright there. This is all got to make it a lot cooler in the distance. Right. Now, perhaps we could put some more brights on that edge, poking behind or away from that vivid dark. Shapes here. If I put dark against light, that helps to give you contrast. I'm going to try and look at my masses. we can come back with our thicker paint, I think, to emphasize some of those smaller clouds in the distance. Now, what reason why we can't do that? Lots of little projections coming there. Sometimes cuts right into a big blue cloud mass. We need something there. Yes. Right. I think again we can step up this big bank of cloud there. But again, we've got to have some intermediate tones as well, mid-tones, to make it all work. Right, I think we can leave that for the moment. And then perhaps we should put our oilseed rape field in with all that yellow. So it's just looking, these little suggestions of clouds there, big one there. Right, let's clean the brush and get in some yellows. That's my horizon there, so let's make sure we can see it clearly. I've got to put in this line of trees somewhere along there. Right, okay, clean the brush onto our cadmium yellow, and right, clean brush. Let's get that, and then cadmium yellow. Let's see what we can do with that. I think I'm going to use some liquid. I've got quite an area really. I'm nearly out of liquid. I think I better use this poppy seed oil. What we can get here. Okay. I've got a little bit of that blue left on my brush, which is not a good idea because it will make your yellows a little bit green, which I suppose in moderation I can live with that. But I want it to stand out as a green, as a big yellow mass. It's quite a feature of the UK in the summer in certain areas. See this oilseed rape. Yes, I think we need more oil. I don't know if you're catching that at all with my studio lights. Get a little bit of glare off of it. No, but I'm looking through my camera. If I look at the screen of my camera, I can see a little bit of what you're seeing, I think. And right in this margin here, I have got some darker colors as well. Got to put some green in there later. But there are a few shadows, cloud shadows that come across the oil. See that little bit of green there? We could use that to suggest a slight cast shadow from these clouds. I need to put a bit more blue in some of the places, I think. Cut in there a bit as well. Right, let's leave that, I think. I brought it up far enough. Yes, I'm going to put some green in there. Let's get a little bit of sap green. Put in some start anyway. Our colours, we can vary that as well. Some umber to make it slightly darker. Right, then you can lighten it as well. A little bit of titanium and just vary it really. This is a canvas board, as I said, 10 by 12. Okay, let's put a bit of blue there. We get some darker greens. Because we need a contrast with that field as well. Of course, this is important. I'm using, as I said, this quite big brush here, so I'm not doing any detail at the moment. What I could do though is, let's use the palette knife. They're quite good for giving you texture. Just lay it in a bit, and then we'll put a little bit of ultramarine with that green. Give it a little, see that, mix it up a little bit bluey green. And then I can scratch in a few textural lines as well. Suggest this bit of the margin here. I don't know where this is. I think this is just the field edge actually. You just scratch in with the point of this palette knife. Right, well, we've got some variety there. Some lighter and to the left there, a bit darker here. But again, that's something we can do later. But we've got to get this little line of trees. Tricky. Now, what's the best way to do that? I think I'm going to go for a little small brush. Little tiny one. Let's have a look what I got here. Oh yes. Look at this little thing. Can you see that? That's a little tiny one. Oh, little flat one. But I think I'm going to have to be careful how I put this in, because it's got to be on that line. But in certain areas of it projects, you know, there's a nice line of trees. I think I need a little bit of oil though in my mixture. Again, mixing it with that poppy seed oil. Can you see that? That's nice and juicy now. So I'm going to it's all along here, the tree line. Little kind of clumps on your horizon, really. Just trying to suggest that. and fairly big area of trees. Over here. I think it came fortunately I don't have any thick paint right on that horizon, so it's not too difficult to make it lay down on your canvas. The only trouble is to try and keep a straightish line. Yes, I think we probably have a line of trees out here. I'm just touching the canvas now. It seems to come off a little bit easier there if you have it sufficient on your little brush. I think I can put a bigger lump there, a bit darker perhaps. That's it. Okay, I can use this little brush as well. Give me a little bit more texture if I want. So let me think. I think I'm going to put some more blue in there. It's a little bit unbalanced at the moment, but let's just get back to a bigger brush with some nice blue on it. So let's give it a good clean. So in the odorless mineral spirit, see, I'll wipe it off. It's very important to keep your paints clean, otherwise they tend to get a bit muddy. Okay, it might look yellow, but it's a little bit off, you know, slightly contaminated. That might suit you sometimes, but it's nice to stay with fresh colours if you can. So I've got a little brush cleaner here, so I give it a good rinse and straight back in to our got a long hair there. Let's get some of these, a bit more of this blue. Don't want it too saturated, so I'll put a little bit of umber in it. And I think I need to some more in here. Because I've got to be careful how you lay this down, being wet on wet now. So you have to just lay it on very gently where you can. So I think I want to put a little more in here. And a little bit in here. Lots of contrasts. Let's cut this in a bit here too. Makes a better shape, really. I can make some more pronounced there in the sky there. We need to blend this edge a little bit. It's a trickier one to get these edges actually. Something a bit grayer in there, I think. Got these, say, these dark tones, intermediate, and your lighter tones as well. So I'm standing back now, and I look through my camera lens, or through my screen. It's looking brighter actually. I can see that golden colour of the rapeseed. Still a bit of my canvas showing there, but it is a nice goldeny colour, so it's not really a problem. A little bit more there. Cloud. Try and keep every area interesting. As I said, I'm trying to see if I can catch some of these clouds, these small clouds, as you see them in the distance. I think what I can do is put a margin on some of these cloud forms. And a little bit there too. All right, I think I'm coming to the conclusion here on this one. Let's say if you do like this, if you enjoy this, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. So there we have it. I think I'm fairly pleased with that. Got the horizon here with these little trees, a bank of trees there. Right. A little bit of shadow too. Create a bit of shadow on that field perhaps. Right, one of the things you should be on your guard in any painting is don't fiddle. I wish I could listen to my own advice sometimes, but how much is the finishing touch and how much is going to fiddle it, going to ruin it. But a little bit of work with your palette knife, so almost impasto, like there for instance, I can do it. Yes, not so bad. Yes, I think I can put some of these smaller clouds there. I just tickling them in with my palette knife. Just little suggestions. The bigger, closer to you, of course. Well, there we are. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.